Hey folks, welcome to this week's CIOPCC Top 10. This week I'm going to look at my top 10 favorite robot action figures. Now these are going to be action figures, number one, not statues and busts. I have plenty of those too, but we're going to stick with action figures. They're also going to be true robots, which means no human bits and extras. So there's not going to be any Robocops in here. There's not going to be any Arnie Terminators. There's not going to be any cyborgs. Even with those stipulations, there's still plenty of robots to choose from. As you might imagine, just in the Star Wars universe, there's plenty of robots to choose from. So let's go down here first, and I'm going to start with one from the old days. My number 10 spot goes to B9, the robot from Lost in Space. Now, sadly, this is the only decent B9 I have in the collection. He goes with the 9-inch scale figures that they did back about 20 years ago. He's a nice figure. He gets the point across. He has some electronic sounds. He's cool, but I really would like to get the a 6-scale version. And I do have a model that one of these days I will get around to putting together, but just haven't found the time yet. Now, as I said, Star Wars alone has plenty of different robots. Droids, of course. And I'm going to go with one of the versions of BB8. I really like this cute guy, and the reason he's one of my favorite action figures isn't really that he's one of my favorite robots all by himself, but because of the way the bottom can kind of roll along and the head stays on the top thanks to the magnets. It's just a really cool feature. They just did a really nice job. Hot Toys did a nice job producing the BB-8s. So that's why he gets the number 9 slot. We're going to go back to the 60s again for the number 8 slot. A contemporary of B9 was Gort. You remember Gort from the day the Earth stood still? Now this is a pretty simple action figure. He's a big dude. You can see he probably runs about 14, 15 inches tall. He's in 6 scale. And of course, he was a robot that spawned all kinds of other robots after him. Now, the number, let's see, what are we on? The number 7 spot. We're going to come down around here. Let's see, and we're going to look at a McFarlane. Oh, yes, McFarlane. The Sentinel. Now, there he is up there on the top shelf. He's a huge figure. You can see all those little tentacles sticking out. This was really, I mean, to do this in a 6, 7-inch scale, sort of kind. I mean, he's underscaled for that, but still, he's a big figure. And there is a ton of tentacles. They're all articulated. They're all kind of bendy. This was a pretty big undertaking for McFarlane when he produced this figure. And finding one nowadays in decent shape is pretty hard. And it's a great little figure. We're going to go back over here to Star Wars for the number 6 spot. I probably should have warned you that there'd be lots of walking around today. Because, of course, these robots are just like all over the place. But we're going to go right here. No. It's not the guy to the left. It's IG-11. I also have an IG-88 around, but the 11 that Hot Toys did is really well articulated. Looks fantastic. And has become such a cool character in the whole Mandalorian universe that he easily gets my spot. I mean, when you talk about robots in the Star Wars universe, you got 2 more right there next to this dude that could have gone on the list as well. And yet, IG-11 is the one I'm going with. So, one more time, we're going to cruise back around this way and go with the 1960s look for the number 5 slot. B9 had himself a real rival back then. As a matter of fact, this robot showed up on Lost in Space. But he's best known for Forbidden Planet, and that would be Robbie the Robot. This one has lights and sounds. This is a terrific figure. You could buy this guy was like $20 at Walmart when they produced him. It's an excellent figure. If you passed him up, wow. I don't know what you were thinking, man, because he was a great release. Oh, and let's go back one last time to the Star Wars shelf. One final look, and my last choice of a Star Wars droid for an action figure is C-3PO. I know I could have picked R2-D2. I could have picked a million guys. But C-3PO is getting my number 4 slot. He's a terrific droid. He had all kinds of great looks. This one is actually from Sideshow. Did a really nice job with this figure. You can see he's looking up right now at the Tusken Raider up on top. Well, Chewbacca and R2-D2 are playing a game. But yeah, just a terrific figure and a terrific character. Now remember, I said there weren't going to be any Arnie endoskeletons or Terminators, like T-800s or anything, because he's got human parts on an Arnie. But there were endoskeletons too in the movie. And endoskeletons, I'm going to kind of cheat. Endoskeletons are all robot. And this one is the T-800 endoskeleton from Hot Toys. He's one of my favorites. I have him also in a quarter scale in the house. Just a terrific character that I really like. My last 2 are both cartoon robots. And both of them have plenty of different versions you can choose from. I am going to go with a particular version for one. So one of them is Bender. That's my number 2. And there's lots of Benders. There he is as Santa. There is Chef Bender. There's when he was this superhero character in the team up, Leland Fry. But I'm going with Wooden Bender in this one, just because that is such a unique concept. It was a great episode. It was just a fun episode. And this is a really great looking character for Bender. So I'm going with Wooden Bender as my number 2. But Bender in general, I think you could probably find, I mean, there's wind-up Benders. There's all kinds of Benders. So I'm sure Bender would be someplace on your top 10 of best robot action figures. Now here we're going to come down here and we're going to do my number 1, Wally. Now the problem is for me, my actual best Wally, favorite Wally, is this statue that was done by Gentle Giant. But I said this was going to be action figures. So I'm going to go with the radio controlled, the largest of the radio controlled ones. Here's a couple more of those. They did plenty of Wallies. But I think the large radio control Wally has all kinds of lights and sounds and dances, and he does all kinds of cool crap. Runs around. Really great figure. And they really went all out with Wally when the movie was out. They did a nice job with the series. So, Wally gets my number 1 spot. So, who are your top 10 robots? Do they include other Star Wars? Do they include maybe, there might be an Iron Giant on that list. I have a couple of those, but they didn't make it on. So, what is on your list of your top 10 favorite robot action figures? Subscribe, let me know, and I will talk to you later.